Well, welcome to a very special Signal conversation, a curtain raiser, if you will, for our 10th anniversary Signal conference coming up in a very short number of days here. And I am very pleased to welcome the CEO of P&G, David Taylor, who's joining us to have a conversation about Signal. So, David, welcome.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to have a chance to talk to you, John, and I very much look forward to seeing you in three dimension. But it's great to be here.
Yes, well, and we will be doing that. We've got a special kind of hybrid signal, so I will be in Cincinnati for the event, but most of the speakers will unfortunately still be virtual. We will reach a large audience, but I'm looking forward to when we can do this, all of us together again. As you think back over 10 years of the Signal conference, do you have any memories or speakers that stand out?
Many speakers and many memories. I can think of when Daniel Zhang came, the first time I had to interact with him, and just the relationship we've built with Alibaba and what we've learned from them. Katie Couric, just an amazing woman that's done just incredible things throughout her career. I remember Clover Hogan, a young activist, climate activist, that challenged our thinking in new and different ways. Evan Spiegel, many years ago, before Snap or Snapchat became what it is today. Emily Chang telling us about the Starbucks story in China. There have been many throughout the years, but the memory that I have most of Signal is two things. The learning that I had, but also I remember sitting in that front row, as you know, and after every speaker, having a chance to go back and meet all these amazing people that had these stories to tell that gave us all a chance to learn. And they pushed us out of our comfort zone and challenged us to think differently. And the speed at which they were moving in their businesses challenged us to move in a much faster pace. So I think Signal is one of the great events we have each year, just to open your view of what's possible for our company and in many cases for our country and the world.
One of my great Signal memories is that I'm on the stage most of the time. So I'm looking out over the audience. You're always there in the front row taking notes, and then every time a speaker comes off, you run out to corral them and get a little bit more learning. So you're definitely modeling one of the main goals of the event, which is to learn. And on that note, our theme this year is always learning, always leading. I'm curious how you, as a leader, how do you learn?
Well, I'm a big believer in something that one of our speakers talked about many years ago, which is the growth mindset, which is to be open to learn, to challenge what you believe is true, and then to try it on, iterate. It's one of the big changes that Signal has brought to our company is we've exposed people to so many different ideas. And if you have that growth mindset, which is even if you haven't done it, you haven't done it yet, and it opens your mind to what's possible. And Signal's about possibilities. So I believe we always have to be learning, and we always have to be leading with then doing something with the learning. Because again, if learning without action doesn't change things, and our company's about making things happen, and Signal is one of the great catalysts for opening our mind and getting some new knowledge and a chance to build new relationships.
So I'm in the midst of prep for all of the conversations that will be taking place mid-month in July. There are more speakers than ever, more opportunities to learn than ever. But I have you here, so let me ask you: are there questions you want the presenters to respond to? Are there topics you hope that they will speak to?
Well, there's many on this one as well. One of them is consumer insights, not just playing back what they've seen, but the insights that you go, wow, I didn't think about that. It's just a new and different behavior that opens up a new opportunity. So consumer insights that can lead to new opportunities. In many ways, the pandemic has caused us to question a lot of things, not only how we work, where we work, but in many other ways. One other area that's very important for our company and for the world is sustainability. And so whether it's technology or whether it's work processes, new habits we can form, sustainability is front and center. In the broader area of ESG, and its social and environmental sustainability, I'm very open and interested to learn as much as we can. And then always in Signal, there's going to be someone that has a new technology that allows them to do something that we couldn't do before. And whether it's connecting with consumers or enabling products or packages that we didn't think we could do. So to me, Signal is just a wonderful learning opportunity. But insights and sustainability are two that are front and center.
Now, I want to turn to, the past year and a half. It's been pretty extraordinary. And things are starting to feel a little more normal here in the United States. But around the world, we're still in the middle of a global pandemic. A lot of nations are suffering, and things are shifting, consumer behaviors in particular. What have you seen in terms of new consumer behaviors that others might learn from?
There's many things that have happened. One, consumers have doubled down on trust. Because of all the uncertainty, they reached for something they could count on. It's interesting that brands, and especially our brands, have done very well and has actually grown share as consumers have pivoted away from some of the brands that they're not sure about. We've seen an increased desire for known trusted brands like the Tides, the Bounty, the Dawns, the Pantenes, Ariel, and other parts of the world. We've also seen shopping habits, and this is the obvious one. It's shifted from primarily offline to online, and digital commerce has exploded, and I don't believe that's going to go back. I think people are going to still start almost every search digitally, and whether they buy in-store or online, we'll see, but there's certainly been a big shift. And initially, it kind of took off because of safety reasons. You don't want to go out of your house. But now, I think it's a habit. And once you've been doing something for, 15 to 18 months, that's likely to last. And the last is people keep talking about convenience, and online purchase, along with safety, makes a big difference. So, and the other is health, safety, and cleaning, front and center. And for a company like P&G, that's important because there's many new or increased amount of jobs in the health, cleaning, and hygiene space. And that likely will continue. And our job is to make sure we meet the elevated needs of consumers in these areas. So all of those are areas that we've seen change. And then it's employees. We know there have been significant demands on our employees, physically and mentally, during the pandemic. And we've got to be very sensitive to that and recognize all of us have been through something that we've never experienced before, and different people experienced it differently, depending on what country you're in and where you work and what you had to do, their family situation. And so to me, the sensitivity and care for people needs to be elevated. It has been the pandemic, and we need to make sure we keep that. It's a wonderful part about our culture, which is care. Care for the consumer, care for our employees, care for the employee's family, and care for the communities in which we live and work.
Absolutely. Now, we've touched on this, but I want to give you a chance to bring this home. Signal's always been focused on education, inspiration, and then, as you said, activation. So how do you want the P&G community to apply what they learn at Signal this year going forward?
Again, I'd want them to do what I try to do each time, which is be open-minded, take a lot of notes, however you take them, and then reapply them fast. The issue with a lot of these things, when you have a lot of things come in, if you just listen and don't take notes or whatever you do to retain things, the last thing you heard is what you'll recall. And you've seen me before, pages of notes, because then you can go back and the theater of the mind takes over. You can go back. I remember, 3 hours ago I heard this, or the first talk I can remember as well as the last if you take good notes. And then where you can and where it's appropriate, test it, learn, pivot. The learning never stops, and as a company and as individuals, we have to be comfortable challenging ourselves, get comfortable being uncomfortable in the learning process, because when you're a little uncomfortable constructively is when you're most open to try new things and learn. And I think Signal, again, is a great catalyst for us to learn and then go do something with it. So it is about application, but application where you test, learn, pivot, learn from the consumer, and then let's get it in the market when we have a proposition that really delivers.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Permission to learn and to apply that learning. And I'm really looking forward to the 2 days, very full days of Signal that we've got coming up in a couple of weeks. David Taylor, CEO of P&G, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, John. And to everybody, please take full advantage of this incredible opportunity. Signal is special every year. What a chance for all of us to learn.